Hello everyone and welcome back to another TSW2 suggestion video. Today I will be suggesting the 6th Avenue line or the B, D, F, and M trains of the New York City subway. If you want to see the 6th Avenue line and trains tomorrow too, like the video and the suggestion on the DTG Forums and subscribe to the channel for more content. The 6th Avenue line is a trunk line of the New York City subway. It consists of the B, D, F, and M lines. It was first constructed in 1936 by the IND, also known as the Independent System. The 6th Avenue line runs both express and local trains, with B and D trains running express services along the line and F and M trains running local. This line has a very unique track layout as the express and local tracks tend to cross above and below each other. Between the 34th Street Herald Square station and the 14th Street station, the express tracks dip below the local tracks, and the local tracks separate to make room for the PATH train tracks. The track layout on this line in the Midtown area is very complex and interesting. As mentioned before, the 6th Avenue line consists of 4 lines, the B, D, F, and M trains. Let's start with the B train. The B train, also known as the 6th Avenue Express, runs between 145th Street in Harlem to Brighton Beach in Brooklyn. During rush hours, the B train is extended along the D line to Bedford Park Boulevard. It has 27 stations during off-peak hours and 37 stations during rush hours. It runs local in Manhattan until it gets on 6th Avenue, where it runs express from 34th Street Herald Square to West 4th Street. In Brooklyn, it runs express all the way from Prospect Park to Brighton Beach, where it terminates. During late nights and weekends, the B train does not run. Now for the D train. The D train, also known as the 6th Avenue Express, runs from Norwood, 205th Street in the Bronx, one stop further than the B train's last stop, to Coney Island, Stillwell Avenue in Brooklyn. It has 36 stations during the day and 41 stations during late nights. It runs express in Manhattan and Brooklyn. During rush hours, it also runs peak direction express services between 145th Street and Bedford Park Boulevard, while the B train provides local services. Peak direction express means the train runs express in the main direction of travel. During the morning rush hour, it will run express going towards Manhattan, while during the evening rush hour, it will run express going further away from Manhattan. During late nights, the D train runs local in Brooklyn between DeKalb Avenue and 36th Street. The F train, also known as the Queens Boulevard Express and 6th Avenue Local, runs between Jamaica 179th Street in Queens to Coney Island, Stillwell Avenue in Brooklyn. There are 2 versions of the F train that basically runs the same route. The local F train, which makes all local stops in Brooklyn between J Street, Metro Tech, and Church Avenue, and the F Express train, which skips Bergen Street, Carroll Street, Smith 9th Streets, 4th Avenue 9th Street, 15th Street Prospect Park, and Fort Hamilton Parkway. Sometimes the F Express train starts at Church Avenue and Avenue X instead of Coney Island. The F local train has 45 stations, and the F Express train has 39 stations. And finally, the M train. The M train, also known as the Queens Boulevard Local or 6th Avenue Local, runs between Middle Village, Metropolitan Avenue in Queens to Forest Hills, 71st Avenue, also in Queens. This line is very unique because of its multiple services. Both of its termini are in Queens, but it runs through both Brooklyn and Manhattan to get to each one. It looks kinda similar to the Circle Line in London, however, the 2 ends aren't connected. During evenings, the M train only runs between Middle Village, Metropolitan Avenue, and Essex Street in Manhattan, and during late nights, it only runs between Middle Village, Metropolitan Avenue, and Myrtle Avenue. It has 36 stations during daytime service, 13 stations during evening service, and 8 stations during late night service. Between 145th Street and 59th Street, the A and C trains run alongside the B and D trains. I mentioned this in my 8th Avenue line suggestion, but I think it would be cool to see these lines layered onto the route. If the 8th Avenue line route was also created, the rolling stock could be layered to show the A and C lines. They could be there as AI services. Other possible AI services are the E train between 7th Avenue and Jamaica 179th Street and also Briarwood, the G train between Bergen Street and Church Avenue, the N train from the start of the Manhattan Bridge to 36th Street, the Q train from the start of the Manhattan Bridge to Coney Island, the R train from DeKalb Avenue to 36th Street and between Queens Plaza and Forest Hills, and the J and Z trains from Delancey Street, Essex Street to Myrtle Avenue. I am asking for these parts of the mentioned lines to be added as well to make the route feel more alive and not feel like it is missing something. Without those lines being added on those parts as short services or AI services, the route would feel empty. This route would contain a wide variety of rolling stock. You would see the R46, R68, R68A, R160A-1, R160A-2, R160B, and R179 running along this route. Since DTG is known for including a limited number of rolling stock with new routes, I suggest that the R68, R160A-1, and R160B should be included in the base route. The rest of the trains could be layered on from an 8th Avenue line DLC or added as local expansions. The R46, constructed between 1975 and 1978 by the Pullman Standard Company, would be seen running on some of the AI and shorter services. It would be seen on the A, C, G, N, and Q lines. They were refurbished between 1990 and 1992 and given LCD displays in place of where the old row signs used to be, and exterior changes to the car body. The R68, constructed between 1986 and 1988 by the Westinghouse Arm Rail Company, would be seen running along the B, D, G, N, and Q lines. The R68A, constructed between 1988 and 1989 by Kawasaki, would be seen running along the A during the PM rush hour and the B and N lines. These trains, along with the R68, were dubbed Lemons after they were placed in revenue service in the system due to some of the issues with them, such as traction issues with the trains not having enough power to get over the Manhattan Bridge. The R160A-1, constructed between 2005 and 2010 by Alstom, is some of the newest rolling stock in the system. They are basically a 4-car version of the R160A-2. They would be seen on the J, M, and Z lines in 8-car formations during the day and 4-car formations on the M line during late nights. These trains have major improvements over some of the old tech trains like the R46. They have automated announcements, onboard PIS screens, and more. The R160A-2 and R160B, also constructed between 2005 and 2010 by Alstom, Kawasaki, and Siemens, would run on the E, F, N, Q, and R lines. The only difference between the R160A-2 and the R160B is the numbering of the cars, and that some of the R160B cars have different traction motors than the Alstom Onyx ones. They use Siemens Citrac motors. And finally, the R179, constructed between 2016 and 2019 by Bombardier, would be seen running on the A, C, J, and Z lines. They would run on the C, J, and Z lines as 8-car formations and on the A line as 10-car formations. These trains were, like the R68s, commonly regarded as lemons after they were placed in service. This is because of the trains continuously breaking down, doors opening while the train is in motion, and cars becoming uncoupled in the tunnels. These trains had so many issues that the MTA actually removed them from service for some time and put our retired R32 and R42 trains in to replace them. The New York City subway usually runs 2-man crews. These crews consist of an operator and a conductor. The operator would be in the front cab operating the train, while the conductor would be in the first car of the second set. On lines where there is only one set, like the G train or the M train during late nights, the conductor would either be in the last car or the trains would run with OPTO or one-person train operation, where the operator controls the doors and operates the train. On the R46, R68, R68A, and 8-car R160 and R179, the conductor would be in the 5th car, and on the 10-car R160 and R179, the conductor would be in the 6th car. The conductor's job is to open the doors at each station, make announcements on trains where there are no automated announcements, and close the doors. When they reach a station, they point at a black and white striped board to show that they are paying attention and that the train is fully inside the platform. While the train is leaving the station, they have to look out the window for 75 feet to make sure no one is being dragged with the train. They do this at every station. If the operator encounters a red signal at the end of a platform, they will ring the buzzer once to tell the conductor to hold the doors, and when the signal changes to green, they'll ring it once again to tell the conductor to close the doors. I would love to see a conductor mode come with this route if it is ever made, because conductors are a big part of the New York City subway's operations, and it would feel weird for the operator to open and close the doors at every station. Between Kew Gardens, Union Turnpike, and 21st Street, Queens Village on the F line, and 47 50th Streets on the M line, trains run under CBTC Signaling. Operators run trains in restricted manual mode, while CBTC relays all signal information to their TLD display in the cab. Trains on the Queens Boulevard line between these stations run very fast and very frequently, with some of the highest express line speed limits in the whole system. The 6th Avenue line would be a nice part of the New York City subway system to see in Train Tomorrow 2. I and many people in the TSW community would agree with the statement that we need more subway routes in the game, and I feel like this route could work extremely well in TSW. It has at-grade sections, elevated sections, and underground sections. There is a good variety of rolling stock to choose from, and some nice scenery and stations. This route could work well with the rush hour theme of the TSW2 Rush Hour Bundle, and if more focus is put on those commuter metro type routes after the release of Rush Hour, I would like to see this route in there on the roadmap. Releasing this route for TSW could also benefit other routes by adding the long-awaited conductor mode to the game. Routes such as Long Island Railroad, Northeastern Corridor, Boston to Providence, and GWR could get a conductor or guard mode. Overall, this would be a great route to have in TSW. What do you think about this suggestion? Do you want to see this route in the game? If you do, like the video and a suggestion on the DTG Forums so DTG can see the support behind the suggestion, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Peace.